Hello, welcome back to another Firing Channel. I'm Jacob J at Books Corner, and today we're going to be reading books for the weekend. But first things first, let's talk about Buffy-a-thon. Buffy-a-thon is a year-long watch-along and read-along. I'll link you over to a video explaining exactly what that's about. But we're in the middle of Season 2. If this comes out in April, we'll be in Season 3. And I have a whole reviews and stuff and live watch parties. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about my TBR for this video. My TBR is kind of lofty. I think I have like 6 or 7 books on this TBR. 2 of them are audiobooks. A lot of them are graphic novels and short story collections and stuff. So I think it's going to be pretty easy to get through. But I'm very excited for all of them. So let's go ahead and talk about them. First things first, we'll talk about my Kindle books and my physical books. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Cursed Coven. This is the only Buffy the Vampire Slayer I plan on reading for this video. It's exciting. On my Kindle, we're also going to be reading the next Attack on Titans. I think it's volume 6. I'm about 50% into it, so I'll finish it in the time I'm reading this. I'll probably finish it tonight. And then we could pick up Walking Dead or a few others. And so if I pick up any of those other graphic novels that are on my Kindle library currently that are downloaded, I'll let you know when I read them, because I'll let you know after the fact. For my audiobook, I'm going to read Dead Girl Walking. This is a slasher. It's just coming out. It's a YA slasher about a girl who ends up going back to the camp that her dad was a serial killer at. I think, no idea. Books are out by the time this video comes out, and I'll let you guys know my opinions about them if we get to both of them. Then we have Crave, which is another like erotic graphic novel type of thing, dealing with queer identity, and that always makes me excited and fun. That's the plan. I will update you guys tomorrow in the AM with all the reading that I could have got done. I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done tonight. It is 1 o'clock. I just finished the book. I read 2 books today already, so like I really don't need to read more, but I'm loving reading, so I want to. I'll take you guys tomorrow. Alright, the only way to do a vlog is to update you even if I haven't really read anything. I finished 1 book. That one would be Attack on Titans. My hair is white right now. Attack on Titans Volume 6. Volume 6 follows the gang. It's when they go into the woods hunting for something. I don't want to spoil anything. The cover's really cute. I gave it a 5. It's one of my favorite arcs from the television show, so I had a feeling I was going to love it here, and I did. I liked the few surprises that they changed. Very, very little. They changed. They're pretty accurate with the TV show, with the adaptation, in my opinion. But I'm really excited to read the next one, so I did finish that. I read probably like 100 pages last night of the manga. Then I read the first 15% of Dead Girl Walking. This is about a girl who, her dad's a serial killer, and he says he chopped off her mother's head and buried it in this old place that they lived where she buried so many other bodies. It is now owned by a camp that her school owns, a camp for LGBTQ youth, essentially. I did not know this was gay in any shape or form, but it is definitely queer. Very clear from the beginning. So that's good. She goes to find her mother's body. And then obviously other people probably start to get murdered while she's there. We're still hunting for the body, 15% into it. I'm loving the writing so far. The opening gave me 5-star vibes immediately. Also, like, it is YA. I think it would be YA, the age range. But I would have to say if it was adapted, it would probably be a rated R movie. But do keep that in mind, like, when deciding when you're going to read it. I do think it's going to get quite violent and things, but in a good way. But I'm very much enjoying it so far. It should be out, I feel like, by the time this video comes out. I think it comes out at the very end of May, and I have a feeling this video is going to come out in April. So far, would recommend. We'll see what the rating ends up being. It's anywhere from other books I've read in this genre, in the same area and things, between a 3 and a 4.5. I've never given any of these, well, I take that back, a 3 and a 5, because I have given a YA slasher a 5. That'd be Constant Cornfield, which I read every year. We'll see if it's a new one. I'm excited. I'm liking it though. Quite enjoy it. I read 2 other things since the last time I talked to you. I read Crave. Crave was about, it was recommended to me for like Eyes Wide Shut meets something. Black Mirror, I think. It's about an app that ends up taking over a college campus that unleashes your darkest desires. If you want to make out with someone, if you like someone, how to get those things. They'll give you instructions in order to follow your craving. I ended up giving it a 3-star. I really did not care for it, and I would have a hard time recommending it to most people. I didn't really think a lot of the issues and story that this author was trying to do with this graphic novel was really coming through, and I didn't think it was as strong as I was hoping for it to be. And the characters didn't seem very interesting, and also I feel like the story were missing like 1 or 2 issues of the story. It was really interesting because when we move over to my next one that I read, which I think I'm getting like a 3.5, maybe a 3.75, and that's Sin. Sin is about female cybernetic who has a past of brutality, and so she goes searching for someone, or she goes searching for a place of solace to get out of this brutality, to only have to be drawn back in for a reason of of sorts. And I felt like the artistry was gorgeous. I thought the writing was very brilliant as well in certain aspects. There I had some issues, obviously, that's why it's not getting anything above like possibly a 4. I'm not really fully decided. It does have some amazing action sequences and things that are very well choreographed, very well done. So I would recommend for that reason. I would recommend this overall. And interestingly enough, this one does have a prologue, and yet I didn't really feel like I needed the extra information to go hunted down by this author. That was really interesting to have one book where I felt like I needed more information based on what's going on, and have a book that I didn't really need it all. Those are the 2 books that I read. Here, I want you guys to know I hit the 56% mark of Dead Girl Walking. Also realized that it was Saturday, not Sunday. Isn't that crazy? We technically have one more day of you guys, which is great. I am hoping that this will be the final book that I will read for this video. I'm adoring this novel. It is going down a route that I expected it to go down, not with the twist, but like with the idea behind it. And so I think even that way it's excelling. So I can't sing enough praises in my opinion for it. I'm going to read a few graphic novels, I think, tonight before bed, but I'm going to be wrapping up my evening because I am tired. I have nothing. I just love it. I would highly recommend this. I cannot wait to have more people read this. I think the characters are so good. I think the story is so good. I can't imagine people not enjoying this book. It is so fun. It says YA on it. I'm gonna honestly say this is an adult horror. The characters are very teenage-like, so if you don't like stupid choices and things, I would say the main character isn't really that dumb based on the point of the novel was about, which I've explained. But the characters around her are kind of stupid, and they do stupid choices, but then again, they are teens. The language is very adult, and the violence is some of the more graphic violence I've seen. It's up there with Clowns in a Cornfield, which was by far, because like I didn't think either. I mean, the other ones got violent, the other slashers I've read, and this genre has gotten violent, but nowhere near as violent as Clowns in Cornfield. And I would say this is, I still think Clowns in Cornfield is just like a little bit better. This is so good though. I cannot wait to recommend to people. I wanted to come in here and update you guys. I finished Dead Girl Walking by Sammy Ellis. It was a 4-star slasher horror, pretty adult. A lot of adult things were talked about. Nothing a teenager can't read though, so anywhere between, I say your average 16-year-old to, if they're watching horror films, they are good, in my opinion. It was a good novel. I would recommend fully. I felt like the characters were really dynamic and fully fledged out. I felt like the plot was really fully fledged out as well. I would definitely be recommending this one quite a bit going forward, which is super exciting. It is not one of my personal new favorites, which is disappointing. I feel like it went down a different route it could have been, but to be fair, I feel like it's pretty honest of what it is. So it's pretty straightforward, pretty upfront, and it does get really weird in a good way. I would recommend. Anyway, this is where I was normally going to finish the vlog because we're done with the book. I'm moving on to my next. I'm not going to document that in this video. We're going to be starting Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Cursed Coven. I'm planning on reading this all in a minute, and then read The Cursed Coven, and then, alright, hi, I want to come here and close out this vlog. Essentially, I read, I want to say 5 things for you guys over the past weekend, so we can talk about it in full. Starting with the first thing I finished, which was the last 100 or so pages of Attack on Titans Volume 6. I think I only available 2 more, which is sad, but it is what it is. I'll figure it out. I'll get them from the library and we'll just binge read them. I'm loving this series. I'm loving it so far. It's so accurate to the TV show, which means the TV show is so accurate to the source material, which is such an amazing thing as a consumer and a fan. It's just so good. So could not recommend Attack on Titans more, but I read volume 6. Then I went on to read 2 e-arcs that I got from NetGalley. The first one being Crave. This was about an app that was like super sexual and introducing like your deepest and darkest desires and things like that. I personally didn't think it really vibed and really worked. I would probably not recommend. I gave it a 3, so it's not horrible, but it's not great. Then I also read, after that, I read Sin, I think is how I pronounce it. I gave this one a 4. I would recommend this one. Action is phenomenal. The writing is quite good too. And I found the characters to be quite dynamic. So overall, a great time. Would recommend. Then I also read entirety of Dead Girl Walking. I absolutely adored this book. I also gave it really high praise. This is like a 4.5, a 4, and somewhere in there. Give me time to figure out. By my wrap up, I'll know my definite answer on it. But I thoroughly enjoyed this one. This one was about a girl who is going back into the woods where her father murdered 15 others to hunt down the body of her dead mother to do this thing for her. Very good, very action-packed. Characters are phenomenal. Great representation. Very diverse. I don't know, everything you would want in a slasher, like in a modern-day slasher. Very, very much enjoy it. The last thing I read for you guys was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Cursed Coven, which I hated. I had a feeling I was going to, if it means anything. This is the second book in this series that never took off by Carolyn Nowick, which, sorry, honey, you just can't write Buffy, and I think that's the reason why, and sometimes that just so happens. I'm assuming this person was a big fan and decided to come up with this great idea to turn it into like a middle grade type of thing, and to be fair, it is very middle grady, and I like some of the side characters, but she's not in Sunnydale, which is fine. She's in Cleveland, which is funny on its own. I just didn't care for it. I don't think Buffy works in middle grade. I've said this before when I read the first one. I also don't really think the themes and stuff really fit for the story. I really enjoyed the mixed media between the diary entries to the graphic novels, to the text messages, to the emails. I think all that stuff flows well, and I think the pacing of it is pretty good. Overall, not my cup of tea. If you've never read Buffy before, I don't know why you would pick it up, but maybe that's why I recommend it to you. I'd also be like, oh, maybe I recommend it to Y teens, or like, you know, in that same age range. Not Y teen, but the lower, like, I'm just gonna say juvenile fiction, like high juvenile fiction to like low Y teens is probably the audience for this. If you rather than read this and introduce it to your favorite thing in the world, which could be Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I currently have a watch along going on in case you guys want to check it out, they're just gonna be pissed off once they actually watch the show, or they're gonna be pissed off with the show and not like the show because it's so vastly different and none of the characters make sense. Buffy's attitude though is very similar to like a Buffy Summer, so I'll give props for props. That being said, those are the 5 books I read for you for this weekend reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun filming it. Once again, I've just been so much enjoying reading books and literature that I'm just having the best time of my life right now, which is so good. I'm not enjoying literally like a lot of other things, but reading is so amazing right now. So I'm happy I got to film this for you. That being said, I hope you guys enjoy. I have other videos like this on the channel in case you're interested. And I'll tell you guys next time. Thanks for watching and goodbye.